Hello everyone, my name is Runzi. Welcome back to another episode of Co-Start, and I'm very excited to bring you the 2019 Chevrolet Blazer. Let's roll the clip. Welcome back everyone. Hope you all enjoyed the cinematic video for the 2019 Chevrolet Blazer, and the trim line we're looking at today is the Premier trim line, which sits at just around $53K in the Canadian market. And I cannot even believe we got our hands on one of these bad boys. A lot of people online kind of talked about how this car is the big brother of the Chevrolet Camaro. I don't know if you guys agree with that opinion or not. I feel like they are very different vehicles. I mean, of course, it's the SUV, the Camaro is a coupe, whatever, right? Looking at the front, it will definitely make you do a double tick if you see this car on the road. Make you wonder exactly what car this is, right? The lighting follows the Hyundai Santa Fe and the Jeep Cherokee platform, right? Which means that top is the daytime running light, bottom are the headlights, right? For me, that's very complicated to look at. I kind of like it when the design is very simple. The daytime running light and the headlights are all together in one piece. Looking at the center, a lot of sharp and black grille lines for a little bit of the aggressive and dominating look as an SUV, especially that these lines are all done in black, right? The top over here with the badge are done in chrome because we're looking at the Premier trim line. Below you have the front view camera, which will show you exactly how it works once we get inside. To finishing up the mesh or the grille lines, you have the bottom piece as well. Kind of small for my taste. If you're gonna do big lines on the top, I expect big lines on the bottom, right? Moving at the profile of the vehicle, the first thing I notice is the Blazer badge over here. I kind of like it. If you're gonna put the model designation on the doors, put it between the fender and the door like the Lincoln Nautilus. That kind of creates a little bit more sophisticated look for the SUV, right? The profile of the vehicle will have more soft lines than the competitor on the market, except for this sharp line that can be found on the rear passenger door that leads you all the way back to the rear bumper. And this car is slapped on with a set of 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels with Michelin rubber. I'm a big fan of Michelin tires. And you have the optional 21-inch aluminum alloy wheels for the next trim line, and these wheels will be done in black as well. For me guys, silver wheels with a black vehicle kind of takes away from the aggression, right? Having black on black, for me, kind of gives the feeling of the SUV, right? For the windows, very unique designs. I know a lot of people think that this follows the Lexus SUV platform, but for me, this reminds me of the Range Rover, especially the Evoque platform with how small the windows are. And of course, on the Camaro, the windows are a little bit small as well, right? But one good thing about these windows is that they can fold all the way down. I know some of the other SUVs on the market, especially when they have small windows, they only fold about halfway there, right? Kind of a little bit awkward, especially when you want to extend your arm out on the window for a hot summer day. Looking at the rear side of the vehicle, the first thing I noticed is the big spoiler on top. I like it when SUV have big spoilers. And again, the model designation is found on the rear bumper, the Blazer all-wheel drive and the Premier trim line found on the rear bumper. This is a little bit redundant, especially I kind of prefer only the model designation just on the rear bumper. And because we're looking at the Premier trim line, this car is equipped with hands-free power tailgate. Looking at the trunk, very spacious, a lot more spacious than the average SUV on the market, especially with the equipment of the cargo rails for the Premier trim line to keep more things stable and safe across rough terrains. And these seats do fold 60/40 with the levers on both left and right hand side. But what I love about the Blazer cargo is how flat the seats fold in the second row, so you don't have the groove going up forward on the other SUV that we have reviewed in the past. And of course, you can motion the gesture once again for the trunk to be closed. Yep, taking this time to close the trunk. But the coolest part on the rear side of the Blazer is the dual rear view camera with the washer that we love on the Tiguan that we reviewed, right? So we will show you exactly how advantageous this dual rear view camera is once we get inside. And finishing up the rear bumper, you have two exhaust chrome finishers, and this piece can be removed for the towing capacity of the Blazer. And because we're in the Premier trim line, the steering wheel and the seats are all done in leather with some pretty cool patterns and unique designs on the seats with that beige brown stitching. Very unique to its platform as well. Of course, this car is equipped with heated steering wheel, a very key feature, especially if you live in Canada. And looking up ahead, you have, I don't know how to explain it. You have this kind of an LED display for your speedometer and some regular designs for the tachometer and your fuel gauges. That to me, offering two kind of variations, very off-putting, especially that the LED display is very nice, crisp with the saturation, but the rings on the outside doesn't match the overall impression or the sophistication of the Chevrolet Blazer, right? Moving at my left-hand side, you have your memory seats with some power options over here on your door handles, your power windows, power lock, whatever, right? The grab handle over here feels pretty nice on my hand, and again, the kind of a beige brown stitching follows the door over here as well, very nice. Looking at my right-hand side, the transmission gear selector is done in a stick shift manner. My personal preference, I like that a lot. With the terrain management system right behind it, you have your two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, sport, off-road, and trailer, right? The two-wheel drive is actually front-wheel drive, and the four-wheel drive is still front-wheel drive biased with the optional four-wheel drive if traction is needed and detected, right? Sport mode will allow you to, rev up the RPM just a little bit quicker, which we'll show you in just a moment once we drive this car on the road. And the off-road will change up depending on which terrain you're in, gravel, I guess gravel, trail, or whatever, right? And this car is equipped with wireless charging that I love in cars in 2018 and 2019. I don't know why the CX-5 or the Tiguan doesn't offer wireless charging. I don't know, but if I'm gonna buy a car, especially at 53 grand, it better come with wireless charging. What stole my heart on the software is the rear view camera. So in love with it. Every single angle have two options for you to look at. Here you go, front and back. Here's my absolute favorite on the rear view camera. It's the wheel camera over here that can see your front or the rear view of the rims, right? So this kind of protects me and be more calculated if I'm going to use the, let's say, car wash or parallel park in Toronto, right? So I guess for me, it will protect myself from any damages and give me a more clear view of what's going on. Very nice. I don't think any other SUVs on the market, especially on its competitive market within the platform, really offers this kind of view for the rear view camera, right? And looking down below, definitely a lot more Camaro-like, especially with the big air vents, which you can turn up and down the degrees with the big scroll over here. Very unique, I like that a lot. And additionally unique are how you open and close the air vents. Look at that. Makes you feel like you're sitting in a Transformer, right? Autobots roll out or whatever, right? Very cool and very lizard-like. You know how the lizards, when they open up their ears, kind of like a fans out and closes it? This definitely reminds me of that. And looking at up across this panel over here, you have your heated, ventilated seats and how you control where the air comes out, right? These are all done in black, but if they've done the entire strip over here in the chrome black, it will pack a lot of value for the Blazer. And finishing off the panel over here, you have your glove box button over here and your traction control. I don't understand why that traction control is all the way to the passenger side. I mean, what if I want to take this car on a snowy day and I want to turn off the traction and do some donuts or whatever, right? So this, to me, feels a little bit weird. The traction control, usually when I'm used to, is right beside the transmission gear selector or somewhere on my left-hand side. Definitely not near the passenger side. Hey, YuChen, can you turn off my traction control? What if it's not there? Who's gonna turn off the traction control for me? And finishing up on the top, unfortunately, we don't have a sunroof or a panoramic sunroof, but the headliners are all done in black, a very sophisticated feature that not a lot of manufacturer offers. These, what we commonly see, are beige or gray, right? Very cheap feel like, but black, great choice. And of course, you're spending 53 grand. The passenger seats are power adjusted versus the RAV4, the Tiguan, which is all manually adjusted. This is four-way or 8-way adjustable. Let me know in the comments below whether it's 4-way or 8 ways. Very cool feature on the rear view mirror is the rear view mirror camera action over here. I know that's kind of wordy for me to say. This we found in the all-new RAV4, and this is definitely a key highlight in the Cadillac platform as well. So you know exactly what's going on in a camera perspective and in a mirror perspective as well. Pretty cool feature on the rear view mirror camera. You can adjust different height, brightness, and saturation so you can fit more of a real image of what you're looking for, right? Pretty cool. Would I use it? Still not. Sitting in the second row, because this car sits between the Traverse and the Equinox, I have great leg space. The front seat is adjusted to the way I like to drive, and look at how much leg space I have. And I know everybody wants to know, do the seats slide forward and backwards? And yes, guys, and the seats recline as well. Look at that. And reclines all the way forward and backwards for whatever your heart desires. And because we're looking at the Premier trim line, we do have rear heated seats, and the center is almost flat. 4 additionally great leg resting positions if you want to sit in the middle. But the cool thing about the rear seats is the small windows on the back, which, you know, peaks out more lighting, especially for summer, right? So I like this a lot. Yeah. So what do we have here, guys? We have a 3.6 liter V6 naturally aspirated engine giving you 305 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. And of course, that is a Premier trim line, right? So if you were to go with a lower trim line, you will not have the option of the V6. I mean, going off the 4.1 off-ramp, it feels linear. It doesn't give me a punch like how the Mazda CX-5 punches when I put my foot down on the throttle. Of course, I currently have it in the all-wheel drive mode, which let me switch that over to Sport and see if I can see any changes. I'm gonna tap that down. It just feels like everything is a bit delayed, right? It feels like this car has a turbo, but it doesn't have any turbo, and you're waiting for activities to kind of happen, but it just feels very flat on acceleration. It makes the overall acceleration process a little tad boring, especially if you have 305 horsepower, which puts the horsepower or the metrics well above its competitors on the market. And the torque isn't bad either for the 3.6 liter V6. I just don't know why the excitement is just not there for the Blazer. The whole overall driving experience is not too bad. You do have some pretty significant body rolls if you want to take on some tight corners, and the seat doesn't hug you like how the Tiguan seats hug you, right? I mean, it's still very comfortable for the seating as you did it in commute, but there's just a lackluster of excitement overall on the Blazer. I mean, I'm paying 53K Canadian for this car. I want to have at least some sporty element to my throttle response, to my overall driving experience on the 401, 427, wherever that may be, right? And putting that on sport mode, I'm gonna try that one more time again. It sounds great. I can hit about 5,500 to 6,000 RPMs, and the engine response noises, you know, do sound a lot better than the competitors on the market. You hear that V6 roar just a little bit, and we're gonna try out the adaptive cruise control or the radar cruise control once we get a little bit clear of passage and see how that turns out. I know a lot of people really want to see how the adaptive cruise control pairing that with the lane keep assist and see how autonomous this car can go, right? So I'm gonna slap down the cruise control on right now, setting it at 110 kilometers. I'm gonna change the distance to near, and let's see how the distance between the Blazer and the car in front of us do. And currently my lane keep assist is on. I'm gonna let my hand off just a little bit and see how this car reacts to it. It started to drift on the right side a little bit. You can see some correction on the steering wheel, making it back to center, and now it's going to the left hand a little bit. Pretty significant changes as you can see. We're gonna enter 427 South. As you can see, there's a little bit of curves over here. There's some small steering wheel adjustment. I still have my adaptive cruise control set to near. I'm starting to drift a little bit to the right side. It's correcting to the left. As you can see, okay, take steering. The lane keep assist isn't as fancy or technologically advanced as the competitors on the market. We're gonna see a slow down in speed in front of us as we're going off ramp onto the 427. It's slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. It's slowly approaching to the Civic right in front of us, slowing down quite a bit. And if you want to pan out to see how the distance between the Blazer and is to the Civic, that's how much the distance is between the Blazer and the Civic for near. And it's going to slowly raise up to speed as the traffic in front of us starts to speed up. You'll see what speed you set to in the speedometer right in front of you. It will label it as the green check mark or green label. As you can see right there, for 110 kilometers per hour. It's slowly to pick up speed here and there. The technology is pretty good in my opinion. I mean, it slows down. It doesn't make you wait last minute or the last second for it to slow down when the traffic slows down in front of you, right? So quite enjoyable, pick up and slow down. It's quite fair for the competitive markets out there. I do wish the lane keep assist is just that much more accurate in a sense. Now the adaptive cruise control technology is pretty fair, pretty easy to use, and I do wish the lane keep assist is just that much more accurate, right? So it doesn't make you sway from left to right, and maybe that's why some car is equipped with lane centering technology, pairing that with adaptive cruise control and making the car just that much more semi-autonomous, right? So the lane keep assist, it's okay. I do wish in the future they should have a lane centering technology that we found in the Ford Edge, right? And the car just cut in front of me and bam, this car slows down and reacts to the current traffic conditions. Pretty cool, pretty smart. Overall driving experience, pairing that to this 9-speed automatic transmission is smooth, but I don't know why the pickup speed or the acceleration is just that lackluster of a driving pleasure, right? Even though I'm setting on sports mode, hitting to 6,000 RPM, engine sounds great, but acceleration just feels slow. Maybe this car is just heavy to experience that kind of acceleration, right? It doesn't give me a punch or whatever. Overall, I feel like if you're looking for a car packed with some driving pleasure, CX-5 will be my absolute winner. But if you're looking for a car with great leg space in the second room, great beautiful technology in the center, with some very intricate designs here and there on the interior, the Chevrolet Blazer is a top choice for me. For $53K, you're spending more than the average competitor, you're spending more than the RAV4, Tiguan, the CX-5, the Edge. A lot of the options that you have out there, you should really ask yourself, is all of this fancy technology, comfort, and design really worth the extra 10K for you, right? This car also has a towing capacity of up to 4,600 pounds, as that's what we've been told, or 43. Either 43 or 46, numbers can adjust here and there, but this 9-speed, great job, definitely better than CVT, definitely better than 6-speed, and I feel like the V6 should deliver a little bit more driving exhilaration for the Chevrolet Blazer. And this car does not have the auto hold function, which I grew to love in cars in 2019. Start and stop is great, parking assist is great, and the different terrain selection is great as well, especially if you want to take this car off-roading. The terrain management system over here beside the gear selector has the front-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, sport mode, off-road, and trailer, right? So all these different selection modes for the transmission, I like that a lot. And if you want to compare some of the other North American cars like the Ford Edge, the Edge doesn't have the different terrain management system for the car. Kind of a little bit lackluster for the Edge over there. But then again, guys, you win some and you lose some. So that's it for me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the review and the cinematic we did for the 2019 Chevrolet Blazer. I want to give a quick thank you to Humble Review Chevrolet for letting us experience this wonderful and mean vehicle. If there's anything that I missed that you guys like, leave it in the comment section below. Let's start a conversation. Slap that like button, give us a subscription so we can bring you more quality content. My name is Ranzi, and I will see you on a brand new episode of Cold Start next Saturday.